Hi. Uh, Thank you everybody for joining our webinar today. Um, Today we will be talking about how you can utilize technology to help you run your business smoother, how AI can assist you with growing your business more efficiently, and how to keep yourself more secure in a digital age. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Daniel Jacob from SME1. We are a IT and cybersecurity service provider focusing on the small business or the small guy. And so solo entrepreneurs, we focus on micro businesses, startups, and the SME market in general. Today I'm joined by Craig Summers, who I'm going to let he's going to introduce himself quickly.
Hi everybody, welcome along. My name is Craig Summers. I'm the founder of Aware Secure Co, cybersecurity awareness with a structured path to transformation and secure security culture. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Craig. So thank you everybody for joining. So technology can be the greatest ally for any small business if you actually take the time to implement it properly. So what you will walk away with today are actionable insights on running your small business a little bit more efficiently and effectively. I will be talking about how to leverage the technologies and tools that you already have to save some costs, how to automate some medial processes and tasks to help you free up some of your time, and how to leverage AI to help you actually grow your business. I will then be handing off to Craig, who will be talking to you about cybersecurity and how to make yourself more secure in a world where cybercrime has become the #1 cost to businesses and individuals in the world. So just a couple of notes for the webinar today. Please note that we will be talking about some specific technologies and tools today. However, by no means we are not promoting these tools specifically, and we are definitely not being paid by these companies to promote these technologies. We are merely showing you these tools because there are too many and not enough time to show you all of them. In fact, we will recommend that you actually do your own research on similar tools to make sure that to evaluate the cost against your specific needs. We also have set out some time at the end of the webinar so that you can do for a Q&A. If you have any burning questions, though, please put it in the normal chat, not the Q&A chat. My business partner, Mike, will be manning the chat, and he'll collate the questions for us so that we can address them at the end of the webinar. And with that, let's get to it. So, as I mentioned, I'm going to be talking about the three things, starting off with saving some money. And saving money, growing your business is not only about making sales in the front end. Now, obviously, that's a big part of it, but profitability is also of your business is about saving money in the back end. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. So you need to actually know where you are spending your money. So like most business owners, you should have quite a good handle of all the pennies and the pounds that's going in and out of your business. But you have to be specific. For this exercise, you have to really write down all your expenses, from tools and apps that you pay for to time and money spent on outsourcing, and actually every expense in between, because you would be surprised how technology can actually help you save with those expenditures that you might not think it can. So once you know this, you can actually map this back and look at how your current tools can help you reduce the cost. So let's understand how reducing your technologies can actually help you with have the same impact as what you currently have. So hands up if you've ever signed up for a new tool, used it once, then forgot about it. I'm guilty of this. I know my business partner always raps me over the knuckles for buying new tools. Or worse, paid for something that you haven't used for months. And it is quite simple. Most small businesses use way too many apps and tools. We are often buying the next best tool, adding to our incremental costs, and we don't notice it because they are incremental costs, and we don't tally them up as a total cost to the business. So the question is really, how many things are you paying for in duplicate or even triplicate? The simplest way to save money on this is to reconcile what you have against what you actually need. The second way to save money is to look at how you can utilize your technology to save time and money through automation. But this is the next section, and we will get to that. So let's start with some direct savings you can have by looking at your tools and your tool sets. So how do you save money but still get all the same functionality you need to run your business? You take the time to understand the full functionality your existing tools already, your existing tools that you're already paying for has. So what if I told you that 90% of what you need can be done in one platform? I'm assuming that most of you already use Microsoft 365, either or Google Workspace. Now, these platforms have more capability than you and I will ever need, including all of these fancy tools, especially a lot of the AI tools and the new sales tools that you see advertised. Now, if you find this surprising, it isn't really. These companies spend millions to actually build tools to help you as a small business. So let's look at a simple pricing structure, right? So what I've done is I have done I'm just waiting for my pages to update so I can look at it.
Just 2 minutes, Daniel. I think people are struggling to see the slides move on.
At the bottom, you will see a sync with the presenter, a little button. So if you click that, you should be able to get up to. Is that your question, Tim?
Yeah,
On page 7.
Page 7, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Done.
So I think you're ready to, you think you can carry on then now, Daniel.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. So, okay, so talking about M365 and or Google Workspace. So if we look at the average tools that we require as a small business to actually run our business day to day, what I've done on the right-hand side there is I've actually gone in, I've done a bit of research on those basic tools and looking at what it would cost you to buy them as individual tools. So something simple like Dropbox, you'd probably use Microsoft Office for documents or Excel sheets, things like HubSpot or Zoom for webinars or online calls like this one, Calendly for bookings. So if you buy those individually, at the low end cost, it will cost you around £165 a month. And those would be at limited functionality as well. So if you take all of those tools and you translate that into a single Microsoft 365 license, you will get all of that license, all of that functionality actually included as part of that license. Now you'll see I've actually the CRM there, which is called Dynamics 365, is very expensive. I added in there as a proper like-for-like comparison, but it is more a corporate or an enterprise kind of CRM or ERP tool. I'd probably recommend that you look at something like HubSpot or Zapier that integrates quite easily into these, into either Google Workspace or Microsoft, which will be a lot simpler and probably a lot more functionality for what you require. And it will bring the costs down even more. So simplifying the tools is really, really about looking at what the Microsoft or Google Workspace ecosystem has available to you, and actually look at that license cost compared to all the other additional tools that you are currently using for the same functionality. The additional benefit to this is that all your data starts living in one ecosystem, which actually leads us into the automation part, because having all your data living in one ecosystem makes that automation piece a little bit a little easier. But let's look a little bit more into the one of the ecosystems. So Microsoft 365 is a good example, and like I've mentioned a few times now, Google is a similar ecosystem. So it is without saying that both of them will do more than what you've actually realized. Now, if you look at this as the tip of the iceberg, and there are so many more, some of the tools you actually won't expect to find in these ecosystems are things like project management tools in comparison to Trello, document management instead of something like Dropbox, technical drawings instead of CAD like Visio, even video recording and editing tools. So you can do screen recordings, you can do video recordings, which makes it simpler when you are doing things like webinars through Teams. Even HR tools, so people management, time management, approvals, all of those kind of automations can be built into Teams, into your actual technologies that you already are using. Business and sales analysis tools like Power BI, instead of a third-party tool that gives you those kind of things, and really so much more. So the basic things like Microsoft Defender has so much more functionality than any one single antivirus that you are buying separately. It comes with things like multi-factor authentication. The licensing can have voice added onto it. A simple voice license actually comes included with 3,000 local minutes in some cases. So you can actually get more benefit instead of paying for those business voice minutes separately. It comes with a PBX implemented, also transfers to your phone, your mobile phone quite easily. So you can actually translate your business calls instead of using a mobile number to make or receive calls from customers. And this all comes in one simple license. And this is literally the tip of the iceberg. And I can show you just one step further. I've done a simple screenshot of my Teams. And if you go at the bottom left, you'll see there's a little icon that says apps. And if you open that, you will see hundreds, if not thousands, of Microsoft built applications that you can open up yourself, implement yourself, and actually and manage yourself without the need of very technical people. It is really, they are literally tools for anything you can think of. It really just takes a little bit of time and research to find them, learn how to implement them, and learn how to use them. So you do not have to go and buy third-party tools. Also, in addition, is if you think of all the fancy AI tools that you are seeing out there, if you go you'll see on the left-hand side, there's an AI tab there. There's a lot of AI tools that actually is built natively within the Microsoft ecosystem. And like I said, Google, the same. And again, the added benefit leads us straight into our next point, is simplifying these tools into one platform will enhance your automation capability. So now that we've spoken about some tools, simplifying our tools to manage our costs, our direct costs, we can talk about how to implement some automation. And automation equals freedom, which actually equals just more time back to you. I'm assuming like me, most of you work most nights or weekends, and a lot of the time spent on medial or small tasks can be automated to give you some of that personal family time back. And in turn, it actually saves money because time is money. So now that you have all the tools, it's a good time to actually look at how to automate some of these tasks. So take your time in understanding one back, please, Craig. So similar to your cost, thanks, Craig. Similar to the cost exercise, it is good to take your time to actually understand where you are spending your time on repetitive and remedial tasks, so you can easily automate them. And again, look at everything that you are doing on a daily basis and write it down so that you have a list, and you will be surprised of what you can automate, which I will talk about just now. So take the time to understand to understand this, and you can really save a lot of time. Next slide, please. Thanks, Craig. So I'm going to talk about two easy tools that we can use to automate today. Again, there are many, probably thousands out there, but some of the easiest ones to look at is a CRM system. So if you look at something again like Zapier or HubSpot, most CRM tools will have similar or the same functionality. I've put a screenshot on here for you from HubSpot to show you what the automation workflow process looks like. And the reason I put this up here is to show you that you don't actually need to pay a developer or a very clever technical person to implement this. They've designed front ends for normal human beings like you and myself to go and do drop and drag or very simple if and but and if and when statements to implement very, very simple workflows and automate those workflows. The other one is Microsoft Power Automate. Again, going back to that single platform that can do multiple things. There are multiple workflows, similar things like auto-saving attachments from your emails into your OneDrive and or SharePoint. Some other common ones that you can use are automating welcome emails after a customer signs up to have that kind of gooey feeling with them. Implementing omni-channel communication, which is a very well-known method or sales method for communicating consistently and continuously with your audience. You automate most, if not all, of those kind of communications. Auto reminders for things like late invoices. So if somebody doesn't pay an invoice, you can automate that reminder instead of you having to manually check it and then send out those reminders. And then one of the clever tools that I've come across on Microsoft is called Desktop Flow Feature, which is really cool because you can actually take you can actually record your mouse and keyboard actions and replay them, which effectively automates repetitive tasks. So if, for instance, you have an app like Zero, which is a native to something like Microsoft, you can actually do a screen click of, say, you're getting an invoice from HubSpot on a monthly basis, the same invoice and same task that you have to do, and it's painful. You can do the click through there and you can record it. And every month it will go fetch the invoice, click through in Zero what needs to be done, and it actually automates that task for you. So now you actually are automating your daily processes, which gives you back time. Again, that's money. And then it's time and it's money that you are also saving in that scenario. Once you've done some basic back-end automation stuff, you can then start looking at the more advanced AI tools that are being developed out there for helping you save even more time in your business. These are generally known as assistants or agents, and they can help you with things like note-taking in meetings. They can do transcribing. They can do some organizing. They can organize your calendar. They can organize your inbox for you, and actually a lot more. As you can see there, at the bottom there, what they've done is they actually have developed these AI learning models as individual employees focused on specific tasks within your business, but but they are actually learning and growing like a human instead of an app. Which is more organic and more or free flowing into your business, your brand, your voice for what you're doing. Now, Sintra, I've put them up there, and that is really not to promote them, but more about the imagery was quite cool, and I figured that would be a nice thing to display. But the point I'm trying to promote, to show off here is that all of these little agents do specific tasks in your business. And the one I can talk about, which is quite a good example, is the Cassie. I think it's the blue one second from the left. Now, she's a support agent, but what she learns is your brand, your voice, your products, your services specifically, and can almost relate answers to your customers' questions in a more human-like fashion than a standard chatbot. Now, what this does is it does free up time, because again, going back to most of your time is most likely spent in front of customers during the work week. So you're probably spending a lot of your after hours or weekend time responding to customer requests and things that you could automatically have answered by somebody like a Cassie. And Gigi, I think it's Gigi is the other one, which says about coaching. Now, this is not to take over, because I know a lot of you are coaches on the call today. It's not to take over your job, but if you are getting ahead of the game, I would be using the coaching AI to help me improve my customers' experience. So you can actually use AI within your business or your coaching business to actually specifically help you stand out from the rest of the coaching crowd. So instead of being scared of it, lean into it and use it. The thing with AI though is, and this is just a bit of a pro tip, is this AI needs specific prompts. So if you look at ChatGPT as a good example, ChatGPT gets its information from the internet. So basically, it's going to take the information from the internet and give you the kind of middle standard answer. So you need to teach your AI, you need to learn how to teach and how to prompt AI. Now, I know this sounds kind of counterproductive, but if you are teaching your AI your brand voice, your how you talk, how you want to talk, the avatar you've got to tell it to, the specific outcomes you want to do, it will give you more personalized answers that you can use. There are training courses, there's YouTube videos. We won't kind of recommend any, and the reason for it is quite industry specific or AI specific. I would recommend you find some time and go and research for what tools you want to use versus what what the outcomes are that you are trying to get, and go and learn how to teach and how to prompt it. Another pro tip is for ChatGPT, if you do use it, have two different logins, one for your business and one for your personal. And the reason for it is ChatGPT on your login will actually learn as you are prompting it down the road. So if you are giving it business prompts with a different voice, of a different tone, and different kind of things, and you're using the personal one in the same kind of login, it's going to start giving you generic answers that's going to blend the two. So by having a business account only, you can talk to it in your brand voice, in kind of how you want to talk to your customers, and it will actually continuously learn and give you better outputs the further you go, specific to your business, and then obviously use your personal one for personal experience. So now, once you've done and learned how to use AI to actually, next slide, please. I know I'm going completely off script. AI to help you actually as an assistant in your business. And we now know how to automate some workflows. And we also now know how to save some money by actually looking at our tools a little bit more in depth. We can start looking at how we can actually use technology, specifically AI, to grow our businesses. And how do you use AI to grow your business? You help it to make you more sales, which is, I know, for most a dreaded swear word. We all love delivering our services or products. We don't always like selling it. But sales is really very simple. It's about generating leads, and we all know this. There are many lead generating methods, but most of them will require time and money. The simplest way to generate organic leads is either through referrals, which is great, but the other way is through social media. Yeah, next one, please. So social media is what I'm going to talk about, and how AI can actually help you develop your social media presence on a more consistent basis. So as we all know, social media is a marketplace for you to showcase your experience and your knowledge so that you can show off your expertise to the world. And even if you are using other forms of lead generation like pay-per-click or well, pretty much any other form of lead generation, you've got banners, billboards, the first place somebody is going to go and look at after they've recognized your ad is social media. And this is what they use to kind of validate your experience, your knowledge, and your clout, for lack of a better term. The problem is that social media is a black hole of algorithms, and you need a degree in managing these platforms to build and maintain a captive audience. The biggest pain is the time and sheer effort required to manage one of these platforms, never mind multiples. You have to post, repost, comment, post again, be creative, be original, and this is really a full-time job. So let's look at some tools that can help you with this. I'm not saying these tools are going to take over and all these other little employees is going to run this on its own. It still needs your input, but it will minimize the amount of time you spend actually creating content and posting content and managing these platforms. So let's look at three things today. Quite simple. There are three tools that I use at the moment. So the three tools that I'm going to talk about, again, look at your own tools. There are many of them out there. The one is Opus Clip at the top there. Now, what is cool about that for me personally is that I can take this webinar that we are recording at the moment, I throw it in there, it'll analyze it and it will pop out multiples bite-sized videos that are more social media friendly. Because of attention spans, you need like 20, 30-second videos, no more than that. And it actually understands different sections that what you are talking about. It will transcribe it. It will give you a little write-up, and you can post this directly into your social media and schedule those posts over whatever period you want. It does have some additional editing functionality, but that's kind of the primary reason. The cool thing about that is that's actually free if you just use it for that. If you want to use it for more fancy features, you do pay for it, but it's an actual free tool that you don't have to pay if you use the basic functionality for it. The other one I'm going to talk about is the one at the bottom there, which is Blaze. Now, Blaze is a tool, and the reason I use it is that I can create a month's worth of posts in one sitting. So basically, I take a half a morning in a month, and I create my posts for the month, and that's the only time I need to spend on creating content for social media like LinkedIn or Insta or whatever social media platform or that you use. On the left-hand side, you'll see there it says Brand Kit. The nice thing here is that simply linking your website, it will actually learn your brand voice and actually your brand colors, all of those kind of things. It will automatically implement that into how it writes the content for you. And you really don't have to go and be very detailed with this AI. You can really just give it a concept. Say, let's use the example, webinar for business coaches. It will go and create a whole bunch of content for you just by writing that little line. You go and review it, edit it, and it will automatically choose the dates and the best times to go and post it on each platform. And you schedule it and you forget about it. The last one is really just a simple creative editing tool, which is Canva. I think most people know about this already. Canva is also free if you don't want the pro content, and you can do a lot with the free version of this. The only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it actually has AI image generation capabilities, which is pretty cool if you want to generate funky kind of images, and also has a very basic but very valuable video editing functionality where you can add some music overlays. You can go and put your logo in. If you look at our website on our video on our website, I did that on Canva. So it is really a very simple video editing tool in comparison. And again, you have to kind of see the wood through the trees here. It's in comparison to very expensive tools, which do a lot, like Adobe and that. So those are a few ways you can actually save some money, you can make some money, and you can save some time, which I know is very valuable to each and every one of us in this day and age. And with that said, here is Craig with some cybersecurity.
Welcome to the cybersecurity without jargon section of the presentation. So there's a myth that hackers only go after big companies. This is a myth, but many small businesses think it. Cyber criminals won't target us. We're too small, but that's exactly what the hackers want you to think. Cyber criminals look for easy wins, and they don't care how big or small your companies are. And if they can get in easy, they will. And unfortunately, most small businesses don't have the same cybersecurity defenses as large corporations. But almost half of cybersecurity attacks hit small businesses. The cyber criminals know that small businesses often don't have dedicated IT teams or strong security measures, and this makes them the perfect target. A single cyber attack can cost thousands. Customers may never return because of lack of trust, A ransomware attack may paralyze your business for days, and some businesses even may have to shut down for good. So, and cyber threats aren't just an IT problem; they're a business survival problem. But the good news is, a few smart habits can protect you and your business. So now that we know the risk, let's consider a real world scenario. So you've built a successful coaching business, your clients trust you, your reputation is solid, and things are going well. One morning you wake up, you check your emails, and you see something unusual. A client has emailed you asking, "Did you mean to send me that invoice? The bank details look different from before." And your heart sinks because you never sent that email. It turns out that a hacker had gained access to your email, they impersonated you, they sent out fake invoices to multiple clients, and some were even paid before, before you realised something was off. In one day, that trust was broken. Clients began questioning security, hesitating to do business, money was lost, and the worst part of it all, the attack could have been prevented with basic security measures. This isn't just one unlucky coach, though. Small businesses are targeted like this every day, and cyber criminals don't need sophisticated hacking skills. They just need one weak password, one compromised email, or one unsuspecting employee. But you might be thinking, how did the hacker even get into the coach's email in the first place? In most cases, it's something shockingly simple, a weak or reused password. The hacker didn't need advanced skills or sophisticated tools. They just found a password from a past data breach, tried it on the coach's email, and they were in. But most of us are security conscious where our house is concerned. However, just before you go on holiday, if you were to think to yourself, I'm just going to put the key under the doormat just in case, and you feel pretty clever thinking nobody will ever look there. I know that's a simplistic and unrealistic scenario, but now think of your passwords in the same vein. If you're using password 123 or the same password for everything, you're basically leaving your digital house key under the mat. And guess what? Hackers know exactly where to look. So instead of a key under the mat, use a password manager. It's like having a high security vault for your passwords. And better yet, enable multi-factor authentication on that. So even if a hacker does find that key, they still can't get in without the key to the extra lock. So we'll move on to one of the common techniques that hackers use to trick us, everybody basically. Email phishing. So what is email phishing? So email phishing is when scammers send fake emails to trick you into giving away personal information or clicking on harmful links. And email phishing works because it preys on our trust and our urgency. But with a few simple habits, you can stop it in its tracks. Always stay skeptical. Always hover over a link before clicking. Do not click first, and always verify directly with the person that comes from if you suspect anything. Every day, cyber criminals send millions of phishing emails. They hope to trick just one person into clicking, and that could be you, it could be your employee, or it could be your client. So let's have a quick look at some of the techniques cyber criminals use and how easy it is to spot the red flags before it's too late. One of the main ones is urgency. This is a psychological trick. Hackers know that panic leads to poor decisions. So they create a sense of urgency with messages like, your account will be closed if you don't act within 24 hours. This kind of pressure stops you from thinking and forces you to react. If an email makes you panic, pause and verify first. Suspicious links within those emails. Always hover before clicking. Do not click first. Hovering over those links allows you to see the real URL that it's going to send you to. And if that URL doesn't match the company's official website, it's likely a scam. So do not click. Go directly to the official website instead. Another thing to look out for is poor grammar or an odd sender email. Most legitimate companies will proofread their emails. So if you see weird phrasing, spelling mistakes, or a sender that has a 0 instead of an O, for instance, in the sender email, then run the other way. Always take an extra second to inspect that sender. The golden rule is if an email asks you to log in, pay, or download something, do not click. Instead, go directly to the company's website or call them using a number from the official site. This could save you from a devastating breach. So now let's have a look at some real life examples of phishing attempts. So this one is from, looks like it's from a Microsoft account. There are 3 red flags in this email. It does look pretty legitimate at first glance. They've got the right logo and everything, and it looks very Microsofty. But there's some strange wording in here, like there's something blocked due to a maintenance problem, which Microsoft wouldn't necessarily say. And they use that urgency. It only takes a few seconds. The email initially looks legitimate, but if we look at this first part, they've misspelled Outlook. So again, a red flag. And the last one in here is hovering over this link or button, we would see that the URL it's going to send us to is not a Microsoft URL. So again, a third red flag. So we would have to act on this and not click and not do anything. The second one is from a well-known password manager application. It looks like it is anyway. Again, it looks very legitimate from the start. Again, looking at the wording, they say things like we've built a secure website because there's been some suspicious activity. These words are, they wouldn't do that sort of thing. Also, we look at the sender email again. Although it says LastPass, the actual domain part is not a lastpass.com email address. So again, red flag. And the last one, again, if we were to hover over these links and these buttons, we would likely see that they are going to go to some malicious website. And the last one, and this is probably the sneakiest out of the bunch, it doesn't have any urgency in the body of the email and the content, and it looks very LinkedIn-y. It looks like all the branding's right. It looks very familiar. However, the wording is a bit confused. It doesn't really make much sense. Again, the sender email is not a LinkedIn address. And again, if we were to hover over these links, we would see that it doesn't go to a LinkedIn page. So 3 red flags in this one also. So there are 3 simple things you can do to most of your emails if you suspect you're being phished. So these things about like spotting phishing, they go into building a strong cybersecurity culture, and it needs to be part of your business. So it's not just about the antivirus software, the password managers and the security settings. It's also about the people. The biggest risk is also your best defense in any organization, and that's your individuals. Cyber criminals don't attack systems, they target individuals. They exploit that urgency, that fear, that human error that we've just been talking to. And your people are your best and first line of defense. Imagine a high castle with high walls and a moat and knights on guard, but the gate is left wide open and the drawbridge down. That's what happens when employees aren't trained in cybersecurity. No matter how strong your technical defenses are, one mistake, one click on a phishing email can bring everything down. So cybersecurity needs to be second nature, just like fire safety training. Employees must understand that security isn't just IT's responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility. Hackers don't want us to think, they just want us to react. So the more pressure we feel, the less likely we are to spot the scam. A simple 5-second check before clicking a link or opening an attachment with regards to what we've just seen with those phishing emails can stop a cyber attack before it even starts. So what can we actually do today in terms of proactively? So first of all, you may think firewalls are just corporate devices, but actually most computers have a built-in firewall. You think of your firewall as the main gate to your business, and on your computer, your device, your laptop, whatever you use. It decides who gets in and who stays out. And without it, cyber criminals can just waltz into your network like an open door policy at a party. Except these guests are here to steal your data. So make sure it's turned on. Backups. They are your safety net when things go wrong. Imagine you're walking a tightrope without a safety net. That's what running a business without backups is like if something goes wrong, whether it's a cyber attack, an accidental deletion, or a system crash, you have nothing to catch you. Regular backups ensure that even if a ransomware holds your files hostage or a hardware failure wipes everything, you can recover quickly without losing critical data. An antivirus software, this keeps your system clean. Think of an antivirus software like an immune system for your computer. It constantly scans for harmful viruses, malware, and other threats, keeping your system healthy and preventing infections from spreading. But just like your immune system, it needs regular updates to stay effective and healthy. If you don't keep it up to date, it won't recognize new viruses, leaving your business vulnerable. And lastly, multi-factor authentication. Wherever you can, enable it. This is your digital double lock. Imagine your front door has two locks instead of one. If a thief gets past the first, they get stuck at the second. That's exactly what multi-factor authentication is. Most online accounts will have this. I mean, it has an extra layer of security, making it twice as hard for criminals to break in. And if they get hold of that first password, they still need the second one. They still need that piece of proof, like a one-time code, a fingerprint, or a code from an authentication app. It's a simple step, but it can stop cyber attacks in their tracks. So quick wins for instant security. It doesn't have to be overwhelming, and you don't need a huge budget or a full IT team to make the difference. So three quick, affordable wins here that can immediately improve protection, and they only take minutes to make sure that they're used and switched on. So firstly, strong passwords. Use passphrases. We all hate passwords, and this is why a lot of us use the same ones, the weak ones everywhere. But if one of those gets stolen, then hackers can use that and they can get in, and they can use variations of it, and they can get access to everything. Instead of passwords, think of passphrases. They are more memorable and hard to crack. An example would be coffee, battery, river, 2025, and then maybe an exclamation mark for a to make it even stronger. And that is much stronger than password 123. Password managers go hand in hand with those strong passwords. And they will store all of the passwords for all of your accounts. Let password managers take the strain. They can also generate unique passwords. So there's no more sticky notes on your screens, no spreadsheets full of passwords, and no forgotten logins. And again, I stress, turn on multi-factor authentication, the deadbolt that stops the hackers. Most of these password managers will have multi-factor authentication. In cybersecurity, sometimes the simplest changes are the most powerful. And lastly, three tools that you can use today to check whether your email that's attached to any of your online accounts may have been compromised. This one, have I been pwned? You just simply put your email address in the address search box, click the pwn button, and it will tell you which accounts may have been compromised, and then you change your password straight away. Most of us have Google Chrome on our machines. Google Chrome has a built-in password manager, which is very secure and good, but it also allows you to check any of those passwords that are stored in that password manager to see if they've been compromised. If you use an Apple device, then Apple's iCloud keychains provides a similar service. And lastly, built-in security. Most of the devices that we use, Apple and Windows, which I imagine would cover most of us, have built-in security. You can go to this security in Windows. It's called Windows Security. You make sure all of these things are green. On the Mac, you go to the security and privacy, and you can make sure that you've got things like firewall and firewall turned on. These things will protect you built in, nothing extra to buy. So the final thoughts. Cybersecurity isn't just a technology, it's a business survival skill, because a signal attack can cost money, reputation, and even your business itself. But the good news is you don't have to be a tech expert to stay safe. Small changes today, like stronger passwords, multi-factor authentication, and security awareness, can prevent major losses tomorrow. The best cybersecurity strategy is being proactive, not reactive. The more secure habits you build now, the less likely you are to become a target later. So stay aware, stay secure, and remember, the best defense is not just technology, it's also you and your team. Thank you. I'll hand back to Daniel now.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much, Craig. As you all can see, there is a lot of security things that you can do or there's a lot of things you can do to help yourself be secure. There is one thing I would like to come back to, which is just on a social media profile perspective. I know I spoke about social media. There is something that I learned at a masterclass a little while ago, which was instead of setting up your profile to talk about yourself, set up your profile to sell your products. So I thought about that, and that was quite cool, quite clever to think about it as using your LinkedIn profile or your social media profile to actually sell yourself instead of bragging that I am this MBA person or whatever. Sell your product. So to get an idea, you can go to I'm posting our company LinkedIn profile. I've set it ours up in a way that this person taught me, and I can't remember who it was, so otherwise I'd share that, but pretty sure you can find somebody on YouTube to explain it to you. But go and have a look at our page. Our page has been specifically set up in that way, and my personal profile as well. And while you're there, just like, follow, and share if you don't mind. We would like to get our profile out to more solo entrepreneurs and more businesses. Now, before we get into the Q&A, I really just we are an IT company, we are a cybersecurity specialist company. Well, I want to talk about the offer we've put together for this specific webinar. Now, in everything that we've spoken about today, and that's on the, implementing all of these fancy things to run your business, implementing all of these cybersecurity solutions to make yourself secure. I do know that time is always short, especially when you're running your own business, or you can't always focus on the technical things. So we've put together an offer for solo entrepreneurs and micro businesses for up to 5 users that can actually, for less than £1 a day. So if you are looking for somebody to proactively implement security, to help you maybe implement some of these automations, even simple things like just having somebody on the other phone who can help you with, I don't know. I mean, some of our solo customers actually ask us simple things like how to format some documents, how to create PDFs. You wouldn't believe the extent of what we get asked from a technical perspective. So if you think that less than £1 a day is worth having somebody on your side where you can pick up the phone and you get a friendly voice on the other side, please look in the chat. Mike, my business partner, is going to throw in a link for a booking page for booking 30 minutes with me, and we can chat and we can see if we can get you onboarded, and if you would like to take us up on this kind of support service. It's month to month, so there's no commitments, no contracts, anything like that. So if you would like to, if you think that's of value to you, please book that meeting. And as part of that, we will throw in, and when I say we, Craig has offered to throw in a free security training session with him personally, where he can go through all of these security things for you and human side security things. So we will look after the systems and implement that for you. He will help you be more vigilant, help you understand what to look for, help you on the human side, and do a bit of training for everybody who signs up to from today's webinar. And with that said, we can open the floor to any questions, if there are any. Does anybody have a question? Here we go. So the link is in the chat. Is this per user each device? So yes, this is a per user price. So with a user, you get multiple devices. So if you have a phone, a tablet, laptop, we look after per user. We'll also obviously look after your connectivity at your chosen office. So if your office is your home, we'll help you just with those kind of things and printers, kind of any of the technology stuff that you need. If you have something funny, we can look at it and see what we can and cannot do. So yes, it's a per user, multiple device kind of scenario. Just following your link, and there's a message saying it's an unclaimed page. That's not an unclaimed page. The LinkedIn page. That's not. I'll have a look at that. That's definitely not an unclaimed page, but I will have a look at that. Thank you. Are there any? Do you provide cybersecurity certification? So yes, we do. We can help you get Cyber Essentials or Cyber Essentials Plus if you want. If you're looking at other compliance kind of certifications like ISO and things like that, we don't personally do those, but we do have partners who specialize in those kind of certifications. Once we've set you up, you should actually be Cyber Essentials ready already. So yeah, the short answer to it is yes, we can help you. Thanks, Gordon. Also, I want to see Dave Cox all the way from Cape Town. This has officially become an international webinar. So for those of you who don't recognize my accent, I am South African. My business partner is also South African. So nice to see a South African watching us all the way from sunny Cape Town, which I'm assuming is sunny. There we go. If there's no other questions, I'd like to thank everybody for coming today. It was a good experience from our side. This is our first webinar. So it was very exciting, and you guys have been a fantastic audience. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.